Hi, my name's Joyce Becker and I'm a landscape quilt artist and author. Today I'd like to introduce you to some incredible products that quilters can incorporate into their quilts. From all-purpose inks to Fabrico markers and VersaCraft stamp pads, Tsukineko products are reliable, they're easy to use, and they provide dramatic results. First, I'd like to talk with you about Tsukineko's all-purpose inks. As a quilter who has tried many techniques, from hand dyeing to painting with textile paints and acrylic paints, I highly recommend these inks. Thinner than paint, the inks are actually absorbed into the fabric rather than sitting on the top of the fabric. Even more astounding, when the ink dries, the fabric isn't stiff. Once the fabric is heat set with an iron, it's washable and it's permanent. The special uninked Fantastix applicators come with a sharp brush tip and a rounded bullet version. The applicators are disposable, or if you wish, you can reuse them. Just wash them with some soapy water. Most quilters are familiar with fabric markers. The Fabrico markers come in 31 different colors, and they have two versatile tips, a sharp brush tip and a bullet tip. They're permanent and color fast too. Rubber stamping is all the rage today, and quilters are not about to be left behind. Incorporating rubber stamping into quilts adds a new twist. VersaCraft stamp pads come in a large variety of colors, and once they're heat set, they're washable and color fast as well. Today, I'd like to show you firsthand how simple it is to incorporate the all-purpose craft inks, the Fabrico markers, and the VersaCraft stamp pads into your quilts. In the finished version of my quilt, Caleb Waiting for the Cows to Come Home, I've used all of these products to dramatically change the quilt. Let's start with how I incorporated the all-purpose craft inks into my quilt. Let's have a look at the barn before I used the all-purpose inks. Now I'm going to go right to my landscape and start applying some of the all-purpose inks. First thing I'm going to do is load my Fantastix applicator with some of the ink. And you can see it doesn't drip. Isn't that incredible? And I'll go right over and I'll start drawing some logs. See how smooth that flows? Okay, I'm going to get a clean applicator and go with my next color. Do a little bit more blending here. You don't really have to be an artist to do this. You're just playing and you're letting the applicators do the work for you. It's just amazing. Okay, and we're going to do just another little shading in here. The next thing I'm going to do is use some of the inks and dilute them with water to make kind of a wash, to make the barn look a little more weathered. And I'll go right directly to the barn and just apply a little wash over that. And in just a moment, this is going to be lighter than it appears. And actually, if part of your barn was in the sunlight and part of it was in shadow, you could put a wash over part of it to implicate where the sun is shining. Okay, now we'll start on the tree bark. I'm going to use a little different method here, but I'm still going to use the inks. And I'm going to take a sea sponge that I've cut up and manipulated to the right size, and I'm going to dip it in some white ink. Then I'm going to blot it on a paper towel to get off the excess ink. And then I'm going to go right over to my tree bark. And I like to give some texture and dimension and make it look rough like tree bark does. So I'm moving the sponge, capturing different areas. You'll notice that I like to work on a working wall instead of working flat. When you're doing landscape quilts, you really need to work on a working wall versus on a flat table. Okay, after I've added the white, I might go in with some other shades and perhaps use my rounded bullet shape and kind of blend the white in so it isn't quite so stark. Now remember, after this dries, you need to heat set it with a dry iron. Isn't that magic? To add realism to the fence, I use the sharp tip of a Fabrico marker. Let's go over and I'm going to show you how easy it is to use the markers on the fence. And I'm going to add some grains of wood in here. And this is fast and it's easy. After we finish the fence, we're going to move on and I'm going to show you how easy it is to add some branches and twigs to your trees. Now let's talk about incorporating stamping into your quilts. What you need to do is load your rubber stamp with the VersaCraft stamp pad and then stamp directly onto the fabric. So I'm just going to load this and I'm going to go in and I'm going to add some meadow grasses into my quilt. You push straight down and then you pull it straight out. And you're left with this wonderful image of meadow grasses. Now I'm just going to go and add some little flowers on the meadow grass. And I might come back with some threads and enhance those later on. As you can see, incorporating Tsukineko all-purpose inks, Fabrico markers, and VersaCraft stamp pads adds another dynamic to your quilts. Just think of all the possibilities to add color, dimension, and life to your quilts. I do hope you'll try some of these techniques and products I've shown you.